Hi, I'm 2021 Why Not Cam Awards winner Chelsea Poe. I'm here to tell you about my cam studio, Treasure Cams. Treasure Cams is a performer-led webcam studio owned by queer porn star Bella Vendetta. We welcome all 21 plus models who want to earn a paycheck from home as cam performers. We're open to all body types, genders, persuasions, and presentations. You get access to our performer-only forums, monthly team meetings, as well as help with promotion and marketing. For customers, check out treasurecams.com to see all of our models, schedules, and photos. treasurecams.com. Have you ever been looking for an amazing queer cam performer? Well, I got you covered. You should check out TS Cami. Her super hot content is on Chatterbait, Twitter, Xhamster, and Reddit. Support this rad trans femme babe. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Performers Pod. I'm Chelsea Poe, and I'm here today with the iconic Domino Presley. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi.
I'm so excited to talk to you. I met you at my first ever porn award show at like the Burbank Holiday Inn, I think.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Jesus, that was like forever ago.
And you had like Miley hair at the time, like when Miley had short hair.
Oh my God. Yes, that
It,
was in my, like, everyone calls it my lesbian era.
oh my God, I read you as a lesbian because obviously I'm queer. I always like date women and shit. So when I met you, I was like, oh, who's this gay girl?
I definitely gave that vibe off for sure, but it was more like that white girl from the hood. Like,
Okay, so like Krayshawn, Little Debbie, that like
yeah.
sort of vibe.
Yeah. Yes,
So
very that.
I've always known porn existing with you in it, which is really weird because I've only had a few people on my podcast who predate me by enough that I'm like, I don't know pre you in porn.
Oh my God. It was kind of crazy before I was here. It wasn't really crazy, it was kind of boring actually.
So like
But
when did you get into porn? Because like we have like I don't feel like there's this many like trans women with this experience in porn where you like transition your teens, early adulthood, and then your whole career is basically in porn where it like went from very overt like transphobia, like slurs and shit, to now like this is kind of like the best place where you can like exist as a trans person and not like
oh, absolutely. And when
have
like
a
my
petition
friends
against it. Yeah.
back in the day, they were like, "Do you really see this going anywhere? Like this trans porn thing?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, like if I just stick it out, like I'd rather be there in the beginning than like wait and be like, I wish I had."
Yeah,
Back
so was it like mid 2000s you entered porn?
in 2009 is when I first,
Okay.
it was at the end of 2009, but my scene came out like in 2010, so they always say 2010. But
Okay.
like it was, I had filmed and then immediately went to the Trans Erotica Awards like that night, or not, like maybe a couple nights later, because I did this girl Hazel Tucker's makeup
Oh
for
my God, I remember her.
it. So Buddy Wood had invited me. He was like, "Well, you should come since you're doing her makeup." And that was like my entrance into porn. I was like, "Oh well, this like award show is like booty, and I want to win every award."
We can also refer to what it was at the time called during the
The
era.
Tranny Awards. The
And-
Tranny Awards.
oh my God. I like kept the ticket from the first one I went to because I'm like, this is gonna be so different and like so soon.
Oh yeah, I always said to Stephen, I was like, this is not gonna age well. Like a
Yeah,
lot of
no.
everything didn't age well from back in the beginning, like back in the day when we just let them run amok.
Yeah. So you obviously like when you came into porn, you went to like the Buddy Wood party. So you like went directly into trans porn. Like, were there people that like, well, I'm saying like trans porn, like mainstream trans porn. 'Cause I feel like
Correct.
that's almost its own genre in a way.
See, like when I'm like, is that mainstream? I'm like,
Like,
what is not mainstream?
I feel like non-mainstream is like, did you ever like see what like Toby Homeyer was doing in like Seattle?
Who?
Okay. So my trans porn influences were like all these like weird queer girls who were like there was one girl who was just doing a thing where her name's Toby Holmeyer. I think she shot for Groovy like once early on. and then was just like, I want to make like weird, like queer art stuff. So it's like half an interview, but then it's like gets very emotional. So it's like these two trans women like talking about gender and stuff and like crying, but then it's like interspiced with their like scene they just shot. So
That's
girls
kind
like
of
coming.
hot.
It kind of is. It's a little bit like too documentary for me. But
It kind of
like,
teaches you a little lesson.
yeah. And then there's like Drew DeVoe. I don't know if you know who that is.
I'm horrible with names. This is going to be awful.
No, I'm actually excited to talk about this because I feel like there's such like, especially back then, like queer porn and like trans porn was so different.
Yeah.
So Drew DeVoe was she's a post-op trans woman. She got
Okay.
nominated for a lesbian scene in like 2012 for
Fuck yeah.
AVN, but they didn't know she was trans.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, right?
I love that.
Yeah.
There's a girl right now, like I mentioned it on Twitter. There's a trans post-op girl right now that's like taking over straight porn and nobody knows she's trans. And I'm like,
I love that shit.
I'm not gonna, everyone's like, who is that? I'm like, I'm never gonna at her. I know for sure. So, but I'm like,
I
and I
love
see all
that
these
shit.
men and I'm like, oh, it's crazy. It's all the men that have been in our DMs. Like, and here they are with her. I'm like, I love it. I love
I
it for
just
her.
it's so
And she's
cool
just,
like I remember Kimber James tried to do that. Like she got a
yeah.
pussy and then she like tried and it just like didn't catch on. And it's like,
She was, I feel like the industry did her dirty. I feel like if they would have treated her better, and also it was like back then, if she wouldn't
yeah,
have been so popular before, she could have just snuck in probably.
for real. Because she was like, other than like Bailey J at the time, she was like,
Oh my God, Bailey. I love Bailey J.
I love her.
She's
Yeah.
very
I
cute.
she's like we both shot with her fairly early in our careers, right? Were you
Yes.
like in for a while? Did you
Um,
have like the starstruck thing when you like were shooting with her? Because I certainly did.
I was like back then she was my porn crush. Like I out of all the
Mm-hmm.
girls in porn, I really liked I thought she was beautiful and
Mm-hmm.
stunning and I liked that she gave a different vibe and she wasn't everywhere that everyone else was. So
Mm-hmm.
I liked that she carried herself different and then I loved Kimber James. Like she just seemed like a little diva. And so I was like, okay, that's kind of the route I want to go. But yeah, I was a little starstruck. More like I was like, oh my God, it's my porn crush. My only girl crush I think I ever had, like on another trans girl back then.
Are there more now?
Uh, Not really. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I have like maybe like a couple cis girls that I'm like, I always say I'm like, I'm not a lesbian. I wouldn't do lesbian scenes. Then I'm like, now there are a couple girls that like, there are a couple exceptions that they asked me.
I I saw a thing it was recently being like all these celebrity girls aren't gay. They just date models. And if you're dating a model, that's like that's really not being a lesbian, you know?
Yeah.
Like if someone's that attractive, it's fine.
I mean, at some point, yeah, you just kind of like really appreciate each other's beauty in each other's mouths.
So, those were like the two girls who you like really looked up to when you got into the industry of being like, hey, I can like see myself like doing diva shit like Kimber James and like really building your own brand. Like I feel like Bailey was like almost apart from the industry and kind of like did her own shit.
Yeah. She like really made a name for herself without all of like doing the typical shit that everyone else kind of had to go through or does. And I like that she's still very, very, very popular and still very much not a part of this industry. She's just like, fuck all y'all.
Oh, sorry, you went out for a second.
1 second.
Okay, you're good. Yeah, when I met her, I was like, "Oh, do you like go to any of the award shows?" And she's like, "No, they hate me there." I'm like, "Girl, they're giving you so many awards," and she's like, "No."
She's like, I'm not going. Good for them. I really like that about her also. And like I don't go to AVN because of like Kimber James like speaking on it about how the mistreatment was during her history. So like I just kind of was like, I'm not gonna go anywhere that doesn't want us. Like back then they were like that. So like even now that they're trying to seem more progressive and with it, I'm still like, well, I'm gonna stick to my principles. I'm not going.
Hold on, I have to quick let my cat out of my room for a second. She's
That's
screaming at me,
okay.
as you can hear.
okay, that was my laser hair appointment calling.
Oh, really? Yeah, I literally have one on like Monday, so I feel you.
I have to tell them, I have to be like, I have to
Ugh,
reschedule.
it's so that I'm like, if you want to get into how awful laser hair removal is, I'm totally down to do that as well. Like,
I mean, I get my whole body done. I don't really mind it as much, other than like this new place I'm going to is really strict on like staying out of the sunlight, and they don't
mm,
understand that I tan like super easily, even if I have SPF on. So I'll show up there like, you're too dark, go away. I'm like, what the fuck?
oh my God, you got sent away. That sucks. Yeah, I've
Oh yeah.
had the last one I did, I had like a really bad reaction to it. It's like 3 days. I'm just like couldn't cam, couldn't do shit. It was
Is it like did you get like the circles?
yeah, like all through here where
Yeah.
it's like I'm like pretty close to being done, but you do your whole body, like
Yeah. I do my entire body, butthole and all.
oh my God, you did your butthole?
Oh yeah, these women know me. They're like spreading my like sack fucking cat.
So
And like
where's
the
the worst place to get lasered?
when I first started, I think it was like my gooch, and like probably my gooch and my, yeah, my gooch and the base of my dick right above my balls on the bottom side,
Oh, I could
I
not
think.
fucking do that.
And
That's
then
so
my upper lip
painful.
was always a bitch.
Yeah, that sucks. I feel like
Like
the
right,
neck's the worst I've had so far. I hate that so much.
oh, it's gotten easier over time. I've been going for like 12 years on and off.
Damn. Yeah, I'm originally from Michigan, so the amount of trans wait, are you too?
I grew up in Clinton, Michigan, like it's a
Oh
village.
shit. Yeah, I
So
grew
like
up
I
in
was back and forth in Atlanta and then.
okay. Yeah, because I knew you had some Michigan connection, but I couldn't remember what it was. I'm from the opposite side of the state. I'm from this do you know this little city named Holland?
I've heard of it.
It's like it's like a mini Netherlands, but in the Midwest. So like our whole economy relies on people seeing our tulips and windmills and shit.
Oh my God. Okay, I think I've been there
Yeah, it's like
for the
there's no
windmills.
other place like in the Midwest. But it's like
Oh my
ultra
God.
conservative. Yeah, it's
Of course it is.
so first time I went to the Netherlands though, because it looks exactly the same, but then it's just like sex workers everywhere and like weed everywhere.
Wait, so I
Wait,
should
you
go to the Netherlands.
oh my God, you've never been to Amsterdam?
No.
Girl,
And I'm like the biggest stoner right now.
girl,
Okay,
definitely.
I'm definitely gonna give that one a go.
Also, you
Are
could
the
probably
men
get
lovely?
I mean, I'm gay, so like I have a wife, so um I don't know if they
Good
all look
answer.
like my like family members because I'm Dutch. So I'm like if you're into like really tall white men, sure.
Depends.
I feel like this is what happened when I was like in like the mainstream trans porn world or like in that world where people were like, "Oh, what kind of men are you into?" I'm like, "I'm not. I'm gay as hell."
There was a girl the other day, commenting on some other models' posts saying that there's like, she was like, there's no trans girls that want to shoot with cis women. And
What?
I was like, are you not looking? Are you blind? I was like, the
Girl,
majority, I feel like, of the industry is. I feel like I'm one of the only girls that doesn't shoot with cis girls. And like, it's nothing against them.
I mean, I have my own like conspiracy about how strap-on cock is infinitely better than real cock.
I date trans men, so I have had strap-on cock.
Okay, so you're good.
It's
Like
more
you're
passionate.
I feel like it's just so it stays so hard the whole fucking time. Like I don't know. I don't like
And these men do have that problem. I mean, I can't talk. I have that same problem with hormones.
but you're a girl, so it's fine, you
Yeah,
know?
I wish the industry would understand that. I'm like, really, this is crazy. You want us to be super passable. You want us to stay rock hard. You want
Yeah.
us to do all this stuff like that. It doesn't make scientifically, that doesn't make sense.
Well, this like definitely fits into what we were like talking about with like early trans porn, like when you first got in, or I got in 2013, so a few years after. Like the expectations for trans women was to perform like gay male performers, essentially.
Oh, absolutely. And like there were certain websites, if you weren't a top, you weren't going to be on that website. So when people are like, I've never seen you on this website, I'm like, it's because back in the day, they had these crazy requirements of us. So I won't shoot for them.
Yeah, I ran into the same thing. So, I started working for kink.com. Like, that's
Mhm.
why I moved out to California as a cam performer. And they're like, oh, we can give you other work. And then I got here and they're like, oh, you're a Dom who's a top, right? And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
girl, no. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to get gangbanged. And they're like, oh, we
Right.
can't do that then.
Choke me out, please.
Also,
Yeah,
I
like
feel, yeah, like, so you had multiple sites that you're just like, I can't fuck with because I
they
can't
wanted
top
me to
like that.
talk. Well, it was because it was a requirement. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so can't I just be like a pretty trans woman that's getting fucked? Like, aren't there men out there that want to see that? Because like the men I've dated seem to love it.
Right? Like, I feel like back then there was also the thing where you like had to have a story about being trans in the porn, where you
Oh
had to
yeah.
be like, oh yeah, I'm trans by the way, and you have like do this dialogue for a minute about it, and then you have sex. And I'm just like,
Surprise.
no, girl, that's fucking gross.
I don't
I hate that
like
shit.
trans trickery. I don't like those scenarios. It's very dangerous,
No,
I feel like, to have
very.
like to keep perpetuating that, especially now. Sorry, my dog Sebastian is
It's
like
totally fine. We're dealing with pet issues.
all the men in my life are crackheads. Go play with that. Thank you.
But
Um,
like that shit's so crazy that it was just like these accepted standards for so
oh
long.
yeah. I think because everyone just kind of took it. Like when I got in the industry, I realized no one was like speaking up or saying like, no, I don't want to do that. Even yesterday on set, there was a cis girl on set in between like shoots and they're
Yeah.
asking me, so what will you do? What won't you do? And they were like, come on the face. I was like, ew, absolutely not. Like, do you know how long it took me to make or do my makeup? Do you know how much this makeup costs? She turned around, she's like, I didn't even know we had an option to say that. I was like, they give you a yes
Oh
and no
my
list for a
God.
reason. Like, girl, you can say no to anything. You don't have to do anything.
I feel like it was like very much like based on sex acts back then, where it was like you have to do this, this, and this, or there's no point in the scene.
I think because I came from drag and I was such a diva in the drag scene in Atlanta and like all the drag queens that raised me were such divas.
Hmm.
I was like, I don't give a fuck what the fuck you want. Like I'm either doing this or I'm not, and you're gonna take it or not. I can leave. Like
Yeah, because you come from the ballroom scene, right?
I come from the ballroom scene, but mostly like I came from the drag scene in Atlanta. But I've
Mm,
always been obsessed. But now I'm definitely more so involved in the ballroom scene.
nice. Like I feel like that had to give you at least like a base level of like knowing how to like deal with like professional bookings and stuff like that and like performing and
Oh,
like
absolutely. The first question you ask is how much, where, and like when, but always how much. And then ask for more.
for real. So I don't think I started seeing changes in like porn until probably like 6 years after all of that like entering. Because I
Yes.
feel like it was all of a sudden like you had like one company be like, okay, we're not gonna use slurs, and then
Yeah.
another company, and then everyone just
They
kind of like changed.
they followed suit. There's a lot of us who are also saying like we won't work for you anymore if your company has a name that has a slur in it. Like I wasn't gonna work for anything at that point. That would like especially speaking up about it so much, I thought it would be crazy for me to be speaking up on it and then turning around and shooting for it. Like
Yeah.
so behind the scenes, I was always annoying the shit out of everyone. Like, you need to hurry up and change these fucking names, or I'm not doing this. And then also, like, I call it the Miranda Priestley effect, like from Devil Wears Prada. I'm like, and if
Mhm, yeah.
I don't, I'm gonna tell all these girls not to, and so they're not going to. So none of us are gonna show up. And like, you like without the models, you don't have transform.
You don't have shit.
You're like, right? What are you gonna do? So eventually,
I
they caught on.
I think it's just so great that like models have so much more agency now because I feel like when we got into the industry, it was still so much these directors were more just guys who had cameras than like actively contributing anything to the actual porn.
Oh, absolutely. Like it was literally guys next door with a camera who bought one online or something or at Best Buy.
It's so crazy to think about that. Like, I think about my first like few mainstream shoots. I'm like, who the fuck were these men? Because they're like all gone, obviously.
I used to ask people, I'd be like, did you go to school for this? Like, how did you get into this? So you have no background in photography. Okay. Like, do you do video?
I like little guys who are like, we're shooting trans porn, and they're like, I'm not into trans women at all. And they're like, I'm just
Oh,
straight. It's like the fuck, dude. What out of anything you can do, this is your thing that you.
that boner I see peeking out of your short says otherwise.
Yeah, I was always such a bitch to like any men on set who were like kind of giving those vibes.
I'm still that
Because
way.
I'm so like one time like one I had a hair on my ass or like something on my ass and he removed it. I was like ready to fucking throw down mid scene
Like
where
with
I'm
a
just
pair of tweezers or like with his
with
hand?
his hand, of course, with his
Oh.
hand, girl. Like that's was like 2014. I'm not
You
gonna
didn't
say the
know them?
company or the producer, but they were in Seattle.
Oh God. I've never shot in Seattle.
Oh my God. Oh, yeah, it's not great, but
Oh
so
no.
at when did you like kind of figure out like that this was more than just like one or two shoots? So you were already in LA when you were like
Oh
joined the industry?
no, I lived in Atlanta and I was just like a drag queen hooker who wanted who auditioned for Drag Race and they told me if you detransition you can go and get on here.
Oh my
And
God.
and there were a lot of girls who said yes. And
Oh
I'm not
my
one of them.
God.
So I went to porn because there were no jobs for us back then. I mean, like there were, I say that, and people are like, you could have done this. I'm like, yeah, but to pay for my transition, no, I could
For
not have.
real. Also,
McDonald's
like
was not going to do it.
places back then, like there was still so much like employment discrimination for being trans. That's how I got into sex work because I couldn't get a job anywhere. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm doing camming now.
And I lived in Georgia, where it's like still, I think, okay to discriminate for like all
Yeah.
that shit. Like, and back then also, I don't even think gay marriage was legal yet. So like,
No, it wasn't.
like, I'm like, it was different times, kids. Like, we had no choices. There was no representation. There was one person actor, like an actress, but she was a cunt. So,
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad there's enough like gay and trans people now that you don't have to like all of them because some are fucking so shitty.
oh yeah, I'm like, oh my God, if you actually knew some of these people you guys idolize, like, damn. Damn, they're shitty people. Or like you idolize these people that think you're trash. Like,
I just remember like being like trans people in the media in like the 2000s. There was like I remember when Kim Petras like first came out when she was like 15 and they like interviewed her and they're like, "What does this mean for your life?" And she's just like, "I don't know. I'm 15, you know?"
when she first got her
Pussy, yeah.
okay, yeah, like okay, yeah. I remember when she was a child and they were doing all that
Right?
stuff. You're becoming a star now. I'm like, that's the little girl.
It
And
is
like
a
in my
little
head
German
back
girl.
then,
It's crazy.
in my head, she was like, I want to be the next Britney Spears. And I was like, good luck, bitch. Like, you don't, you, I was like, you have no idea what they think of us. And now, like, here she is doing it. So, like, she did the damn thing. And, like, kudos to her.
I
I'm trying to
mean,
be her now.
I love her pivot from like she was on like Disney radio for a while with like Heart to Break, and now her stuff is just so explicit where I'm like, girl, you discovered porn and now this is like your identity.
she, she was on Disney.
Oh yeah, like Heart to Break, like that era of her. She was on like
I
Disney
like,
radio.
I didn't hear about her until, like, well, I didn't pay attention to her music until Coconuts or something.
Okay.
Like, when, like, the gay clubs started playing her shit,
That's when
I
like she
think.
started getting like sexual, but like
Of
before
course,
her
I didn't
like
notice her before. Oh no. It's the
it was
man
so like
left
novelty
over
for me. It was so like, oh, that's a German girl. Good for her. More than like
in me.
yeah, she went very
She
hard
did
into
it.
the like I don't know if you heard her song about like anal yet.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like the most recent album.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. I liked the first Slut Pop. I
yeah, throat
everything she
goat.
does, I'm not like dissing her at all. Everything she does is gold, and I love that she's a trans girl doing it. But I did prefer Slut Pop 1 over Slut Pop Miami.
Oh, it's called Slut Pop Miami. I've only heard like the bits on like Instagram and shit.
I think it's called Slip Up Miami. I mean, if it's
I
not, we're
love
just sitting
that.
here doing a commercial for her.
I love that. I know. Um, but I
Yeah,
feel
I
like,
heard it. Sorry, I heard it and
oh,
my phone was on speakerphone and it was like it kept going from like different bits. Oh no, it was connected to the Uber driver's like radio and I was like, ah, like next, next, next.
yeah, we went on a trip with my wife's cousins, and like a few of them are gay, and like one is also trans, so like they know. But then
Oh.
the brother did not know, and they're like, "What is this?"
Oh. What is the fucking there's that rim job song, Butt Slut.
But slut, it's a classic. If there was any justice in the world, she would like be playing gay VN, like, but they don't have the money, and it would fit so well.
If the Trans Erotica Awards had the budget, like I would love that. Like
I feel like
even if she doesn't want to.
a few years ago, it was possible. I think she's like too famous now.
Yeah, same. I yeah, we've had people perform who are like too famous now, who are out of our budget. Like
Yeah,
Kylie Sonique Love performed back in the day.
nice. I remember. See, I'm like we have very different experience about AVN because I feel like I came into it when it was like a little bit better. So
Mhm.
only really have positive AVN experiences. But then I hear
Driving me
so many
wild.
other trans women have like the fucking worst experiences.
Like how they sat them in the back this year or something, or last
Ye-
year. They sat them in the what is it called? The mezzanine? Mezzanine.
oh, really?
Like they put the majority of them back there. And then there's that one like blog site that kept talking about them. I say them as if I'm not one of the
Oh,
trans.
the real porn WikiLeaks that got suspended off of Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's like so fucked up that there's like all this like shit from like 10 years ago that's still vaguely around in porn that's just so toxic.
I'm like, okay, I surround myself with trans women, and like the majority of my friends are trans women or people who are married to trans people or of
Yeah.
who are friends with lots of trans people, or there's cis
Hmm.
women who like this sounds so crazy, but cis women who basically act and look like trans women, like they were raised by us, they are ours. So like when I see this kind of shit, I'm very shocked and like
For real.
flabbergasted it still exists. I'm like, whoa, I forget like the world is still like that.
I totally feel the same way. Like, I think the last like 5, 6 years, all my nominations have been in different categories like BDSM and shit. So
Mhm.
I don't know if I'm just like getting a different experience because of that, but like it's just so crazy to me that there's still this like shit where there's like misgendering happening at AVN. There's people like pulling people out like the bathrooms a few years ago. Like it's just like so fucking ridiculous.
If somebody ever fucked with me, that's like I don't go to the bathroom in public spaces, like unless I'm at a gay club, because I'm terrified of cis
For
people
real.
fucking with me in a
Yeah.
bathroom because maybe I'm too fabulous one day, or maybe I cough too manly or something, or like maybe they're just curious and they're fucking watching me through the fucking crack like a pervert. Like I'm scared to go pee now in
For
public.
real
Well, like
though.
obviously not
Like
in
it's
public,
a
but in the
real
bathroom.
thought. It's a real thought because like even if you have like passing privilege and all this bullshit, it's still
Mhm.
a thing in your mind where you're like, well, what if today's gonna be like the one day where someone
Oh
reads
my
me
God.
as trans,
It's
you know?
it's almost like I'm it's almost it's another fear where it's like when I go out in public, I'm just mute. I'm not going to talk to anyone. I don't want anyone like I'm terrified if someone were to clock me because if some man has like an attraction towards me and then he feels
Yeah.
some kind of way or usually they don't feel some kind of way, it's the people around them will make them feel like they need to feel some kind of way
Hmm.
and then they want to hurt me because I look good.
Girl, I feel like I'm so glad we're actually having this conversation on this podcast because like this is shit I've thought for like a long time. It's like all subconscious because when are you gonna bring this shit up to talk about, honestly? Because it's like a fucking heavy thing to talk about where it's like it almost becomes a second thing, whereas if you're being read as cis all the time, and then there's almost this like fear of like, what's the one time if someone reads me as trans? Is it gonna be the violence this time? Just because? And especially like both of us came out so long ago, people didn't know what being fucking trans was back then.
oh my God, we used to live in the shadows. And like, not
Completely.
like,
Nobody knew.
it was like, as bad as the shit was for us, it sometimes was a little bit better just
Mm-hmm.
being able to
For
walk
real.
through our life and nobody fucking knew anything. And now
Mm-hmm.
everybody looks for us. And you got that stupid fucking bitch, Caitlyn Jenner, like causing all this goddamn shit, giving us more attention. And then they're like, well, that fucking bitch said so. Well, like that fucking bitch is a full-time cross-dresser. I'm sorry. That is not like we are not living the same experience. Like that was a whole fetishization that went too far. Like we are not walking the same path in our trans.
Yeah. Also, like, it's so ridiculous that it was like the whole spectacle of her coming out was so fucking bizarre. But you know what's fucked
Uh,
up? My family never fucking could get pronouns right until then. And then they're like, we get it now. I'm like, what the fuck, bitch?
they must have really, 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 really liked like respected Bruce when during the like Wheaties box Olympics days or something.
I mean, arguably, she is like one of like the best American athletes, but just because you're good at something doesn't mean you can't be a shitty
Like back
person.
then,
Yeah.
when they weren't letting everybody do everything. So like back then, yeah, you were girl. McMahon. Do it now. Do it now. You can't because you don't want y'all playing sports.
For real. Like that's like the weird thing about being in porn right now though is like you can exist and like win shit and it's not like a public debate, which is so fucking bizarre.
Also, why can't like it would be nice to see everybody also just compete together so we can like find out not men are like men aren't always better at everything and
For
they aren't
real.
always stronger and they aren't always they're definitely not usually smarter.
I want like I objectively do want to know who like the strongest trans woman in the world is though. Like if you're just doing a trans only thing, I want to know. Like I want to know who the strongest trans man is or like any of that
Oh
shit.
my God, could you imagine these trans men? Oh, sorry, I just got hot. Like,
But like, do you understand
bodybuilders on
how
my side.
amazing a trans only Olympics would be? Like,
Yeah,
I
like
would
we
watch
should
the fuck
have
out of
that.
that shit.
We should have that, but we should also be allowed to compete
Hmm.
a
I
month.
think that's like I think that's what porn does right because like we have our own categories where, you can figure out who like the trans performer of the year is or whatever, or like trans cam performer of the year. But then you can also have like trans people be in other like categories. And that's what I really like about it.
I like that they're doing that now. Like, I love that Xmas did that. Xmas
Yeah.
is, I feel like Xmas is pretty much, I've never really had a problem with them. I have nothing negative to say about them.
Yeah, I
And they
don't
didn't
have
pay me to say
anything.
that.
I just like the Xmas Awards feels more like a gala to me than like an award show.
Yeah. I only went once. I don't really go to anything
I
that's
mean,
not
same though.
trans related. Yeah, like I went once one year when I was the first year I was nominated and I thought I was gonna win and I didn't. And so I was like, oh, I was like, I'm not wasting my time on this again. But I also don't really like big public gatherings like that if I'm
Mm,
not being be there. The showgirl in me.
yeah, I like do AVN every year, and that's kind of about it. Like I'll maybe go to like a film festival or two, and that's kind of like
What is your experience at AVN? Like, who do you go with? What kind of crowd do you go with? Where do you sit? Like, tell me your
um
AVN weekend.
okay, AVN weekend. If I'm shooting, I'm just shooting as much shit as possible, and then just Saturday, makeup, maybe like noon, go back to the hotel, smoke some weed, eat
Fuck
something.
yeah.
Then red carpet's like 4 p.m. obnoxiously.
Oh,
So
is
I
it
like
outside or
you
inside?
a little bit of both.
Okay.
Okay. So then I've like gone with Trouble Films people in like the past years. I've gone with my BDSM collective, these Bay Brats. So it's like pretty like within queer circles.
Okay.
But now like I've done this shit so fucking long is as you know, like when you've been in this industry for so long, you're a veteran after like 5 years in it.
Oh my God. Yeah. If you stick around, yeah.
Where I'm like the one who's like instructing all the new people to go like how to go through it and be like, okay, you're gonna be standing for 3 hours, so you probably shouldn't wear your craziest heels.
Oh.
Like, so that's a little bit more my role now. I
So
usually
if I
take some
ever have a hand, I'm
edibles.
going with you.
Yeah, I got you. Um, and yeah, it's usually like pretty chill. I think I've like have it mostly like down. I've never really had anything like shitty happen at AVN.
How
I
long
got
is
on
the
stage
night?
with Cardi B one year. That was cool. Yeah,
What?
that was my wife's first year going with me, and she was like, "You're gonna make me meet Cardi B," and I'm like, "I'm gonna try." So we went on stage with Cardi B. Oh, with Lil Wayne one year. That was cool.
Oh
Like
my
the
God, that's so
musical
exciting.
guests at AVN are
Are
like
phenomenal.
definitely next level. Like I got to see Doja Cat, Waka Flocka
That's
Flame.
sickening. That's sickening.
Um, yeah, it was like when Doja Cat was still kind of bad though. So she's like improved a lot
Like,
as an artist, I think
oh,
now.
I was like
Oh,
her music
what?
was bad, or like when like she got canceled, or like,
A little bit of both.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I'm here for
Um,
it.
but yeah, I think it's like worth going to once just because like it makes you realize how fucking big the industry is. Because it's
Yeah.
like there's just so many people from all different parts of shit where there's like someone who's like, I just make my entire career off like blowing up balloons, you know, and they're there for their first nomination, like their 20-year career. Like that's what I
Oh,
think's
okay,
cool.
that's kind of cute. You know what? Maybe I should stop being so bitter.
If you go and something transphobic happens, I'm very sorry.
I mean, I'm trans. I'm sure I'll find something transphobic.
Yeah. I'm like, at least it will probably be better than like 10 years ago. So,
Oh, absolutely. Like I think like when I went to the Urban X, damn, that guy's fine. I went to the Urban X Awards last year. It was my first time going.
yeah, where
And
is
what I
that?
is that some club? I forget the fucking
Oh,
name
is
of
it in like
it.
LA?
Yeah. I want to say
Okay.
Bordeaux or something.
Okay.
Maybe wait, no, it's Bordeaux or I have no idea. Um, no, it's not at that. It's at some downtown. It was dumb. Um, Not that the venue was crazy.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I was thinking venue, like theater space. I was like, oh, cobblestone should not have worn these heels.
Oh my God.
Yes. My problem though is seeing all these cis men that are in my DMs constantly, and like maybe they lived overseas before a couple years ago or something,
Mm-hmm.
and we're like constantly, and they're telling me how much they're in love with me, and then I show up there,
Yeah.
and they see me in person, and I'm all like, and they turn around like fuck, like the fucking basically like I hope that tranny doesn't come up to me and
What
like
the fuck?
out
That
me.
shit makes me so upset. You're so fucking pretty. Like, why are these men caught up on this dumb shit? This is what happens when I talk to any of my friends who are interested in men and they tell me about how shitty men are. I'm just like, what?
Men are well,
Why?
men are like cis men are they're kind of dumb and they're definitely pussies. Like they are the biggest pussies out of everybody. They complain about everybody else complaining. I'm like, just
Mm-hmm.
you want to be an asshole. I got it. And you don't want to be called out because you can't handle that. And then you
Mm-hmm. They
gotta go
can't do
like
it.
blow shit up. Yeah, no, like I don't understand these men, but they don't want like people being like, you're gay or whatever. And that's weird because they're like the directors say X, Y, and Z. I'm like, the directors are fucking us also.
Yes, of
They're
course.
like all trying to hire us. So like if not on camera, behind camera.
I mean, there's so many male performers who are like that, who like I did a scene with someone at a play party and then they won't work with trans women in real life. Well, I licked his cum off some girl's face. And he's like, well, no, I won't do that on camera because it's gonna hurt my image. And it's like the fuck.
Your image, you're a porn star. Like
Right?
we're not here like really, we're supposed to be more progressive and like pushing things like here's porn, like it's
Yeah.
porn, it's not blah blah blah, and then we're all in here like, but they're nasty. They're bitch. You are taking yourself too serious. We show our buttholes for a living.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're a male porn star, everyone knows what every porn star's butthole looks like. Like all of our buttholes are on the internet.
And a lot of these guys did gay porn before they got into straight porn. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like they act like these sites don't exist where we can just Google them and like type in their name and then put gay porn, and then the majority of them who are cute, something pops up.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're a male porn star, you kind of have to do gay porn. There's like
If you
not enough
money,
straight porn.
like if you're in it for money, yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know. When I worked at the Armory, there was like a lot of gay male porn sites there, and there were so many straight for pay guys where they're like, "Yeah, I only do this for like the money." And then I'm like, "Oh, how much you get paid a scene?" And they're like $200. I'm like, "Wait, so you're
Wait.
completely straight, but your money amount to have gay sex is $200? That shit's crazy."
Oh my gosh,
Right?
no.
I'm like,
No. So now they know. Like I was thinking they were getting paid more than us for this shit. Hold on.
they
Like
weren't in these situations.
these excuses aren't adding up. Like
I'm like, you're still kind of gay if it's under like $1,000 to have gay sex.
I think I'm coming to the conclusion that everyone, well, like people who have penises and testosterone at some point in their life are gonna fuck anything.
Yeah, for
If there's
real.
no one there to judge them, they're gonna suck their homie's dick. They're gonna eat their homie's ass. They're gonna get it in the butt. Like the man clit is in the booty, so like they're
Yeah.
trying to find it.
I feel like there's so many great quotes from this that could just be taken out. The man clits in the booty. It's true though.
But they're all trying to get it tickled. Like, why not? They're all
For
like,
real.
now, like back when we started porn, these men wouldn't even like do anything that makes them look remotely gay. And now they all have their ankles like next to their ears with their buttholes out starfished, just waiting for some girl to lick it. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, you wouldn't what?
Also, like, aren't all those guys like taking girls like strap-ons and shit now? Isn't that just like normal?
Who's not?
Yeah. I get this shit on cam a lot where I would say like 95% of my clients are straight men. And
Oh, yeah.
always like 50% of them are amazed that there's other straight men. They're like, "What do you mean? I thought I
Oh,
was your first straight male client." I'm like,
because every straight man was raised to think that they're fucking special.
"Yeah." I'm like, and then they're always like, "Well, how am I straight?" I'm like, "If you're jerking off to someone who has tits, you're fucking straight." Like,
The way I used to explain it was when I'm walking down the street, are you like, damn, that guy in that dress with that long hair and that big titties that looks like a chick is hot? No, you don't know. So you're like, damn, that bitch is hot. And then I just happen to have a dick.
yeah,
That didn't make you gay.
it straight up doesn't. Like,
If
I
you're
think it's
attracted to your homie, like if you're attracted to the physical appearance of another man, another masculine appearance, if you're a man and you identify as a man, if you're attracted to the other person who identifies as a man, even if it's a trans man who has a vagina,
yeah.
the masculinity, he looks like a straight man, walks like a straight man, sounds like a straight man. Outside, nobody would know. If that's what you're attracted to and you are the same thing, that's what makes you gay.
I feel like it makes you more gay if you're a dude fucking another dude's vagina. That feels gayer.
Oh, absolutely.
And vice
When that
versa,
that like that.
it's straighter to have sex with a trans woman than it is to have sex with a cis woman.
Oh, well, there's this one thing the gay performers are saying. They call themselves they're trying to be exotic these days. They're saying they're bisexual when they sleep with a trans man. I'm like, no, no,
No.
you're still gay. Like,
Fucking, I hate when people have sex with one trans person. They're like, I'm pansexual now. And it's like,
did you date one?
did I date someone who said they were a
No, no, no.
pansexual?
I'm like to
Fucking
them,
probably, and it was probably a mistake.
like to them, like to that. When those people say that, I'm like, but did you date one? Have you dated one of us? Are you really pansexual? Have you dated multiple of us? Have you dated everybody? No. Oh, you like money. I get it. I like money, but I'm a heterosexual trans woman
I
from the
mean,
gay community.
obviously sexuality is a spectrum before anyone gets all offended about this. But like also like I think it's also fun to be like that's gay, you know?
Oh my God, I said it yesterday I said it actually twice the like past couple days. They're like, now do this heart sign and blow a kiss. I was like, I'm not doing that heart sign. That's gay. Like you are not making me do that. Obviously, gay is fabulous, and I love gay.
Yeah, like obviously we're not gay bashing. I'm assuming if anyone takes away from this conversation that they're like looking through a lot of stuff.
You're looking. You're searching.
So I have a few more questions for you. This has been so great to chat. Like I feel like we went back on so much like being trans in the 2000s shit. That you
Absolutely.
just forget. Do you remember? I have one more thing to like of that era. Do you remember that show Transgeneration?
Cringe generation. I think like was it a document or
Yeah,
docu-series
it
about a
was like
bunch
a
of different kids?
docu-series. Yes.
Yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
watch it, but yes, I know it. I know what it
Yeah.
is.
Oh, I was just wondering because I'm like, that's such a weirdly specific mid 2000s trans thing.
Oh yeah, I think I probably like referred my parents to watch it. Or like maybe my dad definitely watched it
There's
because my
just
dad
like the most spoiled,
said,
entitled trans white girl in it who her parents get her a pussy and she's just like, I don't want to dilate. It's too much work. It just like completely ruins her vagina and had to get like literally a second one.
I was like, so she became a Barbie?
Yeah,
It
basically.
closed up. Oh my God, no. No, like, okay, if you're not gonna do the work for it, do you really want it that bad?
I mean,
Like, if I really wanted one like that, I think I would do everything I'm supposed to do.
it's just so fucking invasive. Like, if it was like a weekend and then you come out with a pussy,
But think about that
maybe.
pussy closing up. Would you
Like, I
rather have to
want to
close that
squirt
pussy?
still though, like until they can guarantee me that.
I'm not getting one until like it's 100% guaranteed an orgasm because I masturbate way too much. I do like the squirting. Now that's on my list as well.
That would be cool.
I
I
need it
mean,
to
getting
look
to do
100%
DP seems
legit.
really fun.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I like how this is like
Can it
the real
be?
talk about getting a pussy.
Because the girl, this one girl that I know that has that, I'm not gonna out her business, but I don't think she could get DP'd because she just took a big dick and she was like, "What happened?" Because she's like was bleeding a lot.
Oh my God.
I was like, "Girl, this is like years ago that you, well, not years. I was like, it was a couple years ago that you got your vagina. Should this be happening? That you got
Oh.
your vagina, Jesus Christ."
I always love talking about it like that. Be like, you got a pussy, you got a vagina.
And when did you
I
buy
wouldn't get
yours?
one. I feel like that's the real trans surgery talk that is being missed from the world, where it's just like, so what can it do though?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like, is it fully functioning? Now, is this also like a lot of people don't realize now, is this one of the vaginas that you got a little bit of butthole from? Or is this like, like,
I don't
there's
want a
all,
butthole vagina.
I don't want a vagina. Like,
Like, I feel like if I just instantly had one, that's fine, but I don't want to go through.
I came into this industry wanting one for sure. Back
Really?
in, oh yeah, back in 2010, I was like, I was one of those trans girls that was like, I'm a cis girl, like, oh, like, and then I met this one girl who was like, she just had a different like outlook on life, and she was like, why would I want to be cis? I'm trans. I'm so fucking fabulous. I look like this, and I'm trans. Like, could you imagine? Like, we are so special. I was like, bitch, you are right. Yes, we are.
Damn. That's like a
And
good
then like
attitude. Yeah.
and she was somebody who also at one time in her life wanted to be post-op, and but that's kind of when my thing changed where I was like, well, I really like who I am now. Like I like
Mm-hmm.
me. I love me. I've gotten to a place where I love me. I really like having an orgasm also.
For
Um,
real.
but I don't want to change for anyone. I don't feel like I don't have to have a vagina to have. I'm not trying to be a cis woman. Like I
Yeah.
don't think I am one. I think I'm a trans woman.
For real. Like, I think
I
at
don't think
some
I'm a
point, like
man.
your body looks like how you want it to, and you're just like, oh, this is my genitals. Okay.
Yeah. And also this little magic wand is my money maker.
I do think about that sometimes. I'm like, if I was a cis girl making the same porn I do, I'm like, it'd be like 30% less interesting.
If I was born a cis girl, I would have like 17 kids. I would not have made, well, I didn't make it out of high school. I like I would have had 17 kids in high school. Like this would not, I wouldn't have got into porn, that's for sure. No, I
I
probably
think
still,
I would
I
have
would have
still
been,
gotten into porn, I think.
I would have done Playboy because that was like what I was obsessed with.
Really? So Playboy was like the big thing for you?
Oh yeah, and like this was like the closest I could get. Well,
Oh,
like this was
I-
also the closest to fame I could get.
I'm assuming you also grew up watching Girls Next Door. That's like a definite
Of
pipeline.
course. Of course.
Same.
And my grandmother was a Playboy bunny back at the Chicago Club back
Oh
in the
my
day.
God.
And she like you weren't allowed to have kids, you weren't allowed to be like over a certain age, and she lied and
Hmm.
she was way over that age and she had 7 kids or 9 kids.
Oh my God, that's so badass.
Miss
Yeah.
Cookie Turner.
Yeah, for me it was like the porn I wanted to do was like very extreme. So like when I first got into the industry, especially with mainstream trans porn, they're like do a solo scene. I'm like, I didn't get into porn to like masturbate. I'm like looking to get like choked out and like do gangbangs and shit and like get electrocuted.
We are like polar opposites. I'm like, I got in to take beautiful glossy photos
I'm
by
like want to
myself.
physically push myself and be like, what's the most depraved shit I can do?
Oh my God. Like that's kind of I watch stuff like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I wouldn't do it on film just because that's not I don't think the brand I built for myself.
Yeah, you're pretty, you take dick, you're pretty when you take dick, like
Yeah, like they don't need to know. Like I feel like that's more for my personal life. Like because if I don't have that in my personal life and they have everything, then I have nothing for
yeah,
myself. So like the real kinky stuff of mine, nobody that's never going on camera.
yeah. Mine's just like watch me do the craziest shit I can.
However, in real life, I'm like not that sexual. Like
Yeah, like I feel like it's a balance though. Like when you have this outlet for sexuality and stuff, like it's through this where I'm like, I can't do any of the big crazy things in my personal life. Like I don't know how you arrange a gangbang in real life, but in a porn
mm-mm.
scene, I can be like, okay,
I've never had one ever. Like
I
I
support you if you ever want to make one happen. Like
I
I've
keep telling these
done.
directors, I'm like, I've never even had a threesome. Like, what is your
Wait, you've
problem?
never had a threesome?
Not on film, no. And like,
Oh,
and even in my personal life, there was one time me and this one girl who at the time was a drag queen. She wasn't trans yet. She's trans now.
hmm.
But we had a threesome with this male, this male stripper.
This male.
We had a threesome with this male stripper. We pull up at this gas station. We had just left the club, and she
Is
was
this
like,
it?
"Oh my God, this man was like living for me in the gas station." He comes outside, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I know him. He's a stripper." I'm like, I was like, "Hey," and he was like, where are y'all going?" And that's how that happened.
Well, if you
But I
ever
got up
want
and
to do,
walked out.
I'm like, if you ever want to do any crazy stuff and you need tips, I have an anal regimen. I got you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I could use that too, probably.
So I have two final questions for you. Obviously, you've accomplished a ton of shit in your career. Obviously, getting into this industry, like no one assumes they're gonna have a successful career and like win awards and shit, really. Well, you
Yeah.
did say when you came in, you're like, I'm gonna win everything.
I wanted to win everything. I At the Trans Erotica Awards, like I've definitely won a lot, and then I've won an Expos award, but like I haven't got. I didn't like, yeah, no. Like I feel like when my time was going on, they were just like, yeah, fuck this little bitch.
But
So like
you
people just
got
assume I've
invited.
won a lot. I got it.
Um,
Yeah. Oh, I've gotten invited. I get
yeah.
nominated.
Yeah, that's like half the thing.
I tell
So,
everyone the nomination is the win.
see, like over time, I've now adjusted before. Like, I took it personally. I'm like, man, they're like setting me up. They got me to come all the way here for fucking nothing. But now I'm
Yeah.
like, well, effectively, there's no second place. So you might have finished second. So
Well,
just
and
kind of have
also
to assume
like
it.
you look in the books and you see like the back pamphlets and you see the
Hmm.
judges when it's not like based off of actual fans. And like also like nowadays you never really know because there's so many bots that people
Yeah.
can do. Like I saw the never mind, I'm not even gonna go
No, you can
there.
go there. It's fine.
Some people get nominated and I'm like, oh, they know this one person and I know this one
Yeah.
person knows how to do bots. So like, and I'm also like, this bitch ain't done shit in forever. So how is she getting nominated? And then I'm like, oh yeah, she didn't. Like, and then
It's
their followers. I saw fake famous. When I see followers, I'm like, I don't care how many you have because
for
I know
real.
you
It
can
doesn't
buy
really
them.
mean that much anymore.
And fans are buying them for you now. I'm like, what? Please don't ever buy me a follower.
Yeah.
Oh.
Um, where was that? Oh, so like you've accomplished a hell of a lot of shit. So like what do you still want to accomplish that you haven't so far?
Mm, for my music, I would like my music to with the girls to really take off, my girl group. Um, I would like to still be hosting the Trans Erotica Awards years from now.
They should just have you for life.
Like they joke around and say that, but like every year I literally for some reason think I'm getting fired. Like, I'm always nervous, like, are
That's
they
the
gonna
entertainment
ask?
industry.
Yeah, like I'm like
It's
the
so
one
fucking
time,
brutal.
and you never know. So like these girls sit there and DM, they're like, I could do it better than her. I'm like,
Oh my
okay.
God. That's how I feel about every award show I go to. I'm like, this is the last one. This is the end of my run.
Whenever I'm on there hosting and I start talking, I'm like, oh my God, Stephen, please don't be mad at me. Like, please don't hate me. I had like there was a cis company or person that complained about the way I hosted, not this year, but the year before, because I like was making fun of the cis community. And I'm like, Dave Chappelle has like 3 Netflix specials making fun of us, and you can't take
Yeah.
one fucking joke like at our award show. Okay.
You didn't go up on stage and you're like, you know what? Fuck all cis people and just like walk off stage, I'm assuming.
No, I was like,
If
thank
you
you.
did, I would respect that. I'd be
I
like,
was like, I was
damn,
like,
that was
thank you
badass.
for coming, even though I don't like you. Which is obviously a joke because if it weren't for cis people, we wouldn't exist. They're the ones who made us.
That's so funny. Uh it's so funny they went to a trans porn award show and then got mad over that.
Uh,
Well, if you ever have to issue an apology, be like, some of my best friends are cis.
oh my God, that's perfect. I
Oh
would
my
have to
God.
find.
Oh my God. I worked with this cis girl recently, and like in the pre-scene interview, she's like, you're the first trans woman I ever worked with. And I just looked her down and I'm like, I've never shot with a cis girl before. Uh,
I don't even know them.
I'm like, so what do you have going on down there? What is that?
Oh my God. My friend and I were at the trans girl who got me to like be more appreciative of being trans.
Hmm.
We were at this
Yeah.
porn birthday party, and at the porn birthday party, there was a rapper there, like a very, very legendary, famous rapper.
Okay.
And he literally, like, he was
I
looking at us.
literally know who you're talking about. I don't know if I should say it because I don't know what that means. I'm not.
Too short.
Oh shit! Oh my God, good for him.
Oh no. Well, so he was there, and he was like looking at us. And then his friend was like, those are men. And so then he went around asking every girl, do you have a pussy or a penis? Like, I'm not
What the
talking to you
fuck?
until you tell me if you have a pussy or a penis. So they had to take him outside and have, please bleep his name out. They had to take
I
him
don't think I
outside.
have the capabilities, but see, I live in the Bay and I've lived here for 10 years, so Too Short's like mad respect level. So now I'm like conflicted.
Watch them be like, it was 2 Chains. I don't even.
I thought you were saying Dr. Dre. I know so many trans
Oh
girls who are
no.
like, oh, I fuck Dr. Dre. And I'm like, oh,
Really? Oh my God, that's crazy because I know somebody
I
that he
don't
works
know.
with.
You know the person who allegedly. I'm surprised if you know her as well as I think you know her. She didn't tell you.
You said someone's name earlier that I know all the girls have
Who?
been with. You said another rapper's name earlier, and like as soon as you said their name,
Oh,
I was
Lil
like,
Wayne, I do know
oh,
that. Yes, yeah. Everybody knows that. He's with
I
like all
didn't.
kinds of porn girls. Yeah.
I didn't know that he was with all the trans girls.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I had no idea. I just found out. Bitch, we're trying to get killed.
Oh shit, is this gonna go? People have to listen to the whole fucking episode to get to this. So like maybe there's gonna be like one person and this shit goes viral.
You know what?
Alleged.
Okay.
All this is alleged. We don't
Supposedly,
know.
allegedly, from what we've heard, and you know the girls like to gossip. God.
I've had a few rappers in my DMs. I'm just like, no. I'm like, I don't want to be. I want to do that.
You know, send them to mine.
Okay.
I'm down. I'll be like, can I get a feature? Will you be a feature on mine?
I think you should 100% do that. Any rapper that gets slides in your DMs, I'm sure you get some.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're
But like
fucking
I'm
Domino
not
Presley, of course.
I think like I don't know, I did this one podcast where I like said a bunch of people's names, but we bleeped everything out. And I think like after that, like some of the celebrities were like, maybe I shouldn't be DMing her.
Yeah,
But I've had a couple here and there every now and then. I just don't like I'm not that aware of what's going on now to like know if they're that big still or if they are that big.
yeah, I was around music before I was in porn. So I feel like I have no glamorization around the music industry. So I'm like, you have a not fun life, probably.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. Like there's like actors also, like especially super famous ones who were like grew up with famous parents that like they grew up under the spotlight. Their lives don't seem funny either. Like suddenly the drug use made sense. I was like, oh, okay. You want to stay awake all night for days because you've never had any time to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird when porn world starts mixing with like celebrity world and shit, and then
Well, because
like
we're their celebrities.
it's very strange.
Those fucking freaks.
So I have one final question for you. This has been such a great chat. I feel like we covered so many topics in like all the ways. So let's say you wake up tomorrow and one thing could magically be changed in porn. What would you have it be?
I think I would have it be like full trans acceptance
Yeah,
throughout the industry. But when I say trans, I mean the trans white girls, black girls, BBW girls,
for
all of them.
real.
Like full trans acceptance throughout every single award show, throughout
Hmm.
all the websites. Um, and I wish they would like they would stop using us as like ornaments during Pride and like have us all year round.
For real.
This is in fucking Target.
That shit is wild. I'm sure you also get that where you just start getting emails in May and people are like, "Oh, can we have you for our Pride Month issue
Mhm.
or model of the month or whatever shit?"
Oh my God, yeah. So tell us about trans awareness. I'm like, oh fuck, that's right. The cis people are always the ones letting me know when those things are.
Yeah.
They start booking us.
It's yeah, there's literally two websites that reached out to me and they're like, "Do you want to be our model of the month for June?" I'm like, "Huh, I wonder why."
June? Why not October?
Well, this has been such a great chat. Where can everyone find you on all the socials and your website? I'm assuming you probably
Um,
have an OnlyFans, all the
my like
things.
all my links are on thedominopresley.com. And then my Twitter is at Domino Presley. My Instagram is the Domino Presley. You can send me money on my website.
I mean, that's what this shit's about. Let's be real.
Oh my God. And the girls, our album comes out 6/9.
Hell yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on and yeah, this has been so fucking rad to chat and catch up about all the crazy shit that happened in transport for the last like 12 years.
I feel like a dinosaur
I know,
now.
I'm so fucking old. I'm glad there's girls who are like going to Avian and they're like, so I think I saw one trans person where someone's like, they called me she instead of they. And I'm like, I'm glad the next generation is speaking up against this shit because, like, the generation before us was fighting to even get on stage. Then our
Yeah.
generation was like fighting all these like slurs and like high performing standards that even though I kind of now feel old, where I'm like, the first award show I went to was the Tranny Awards, you know? And if you said something about it, they're like, you're crazy, you're radical, you know?
Yeah.
That the kids now can be all like, more sensitive and actually speak of what like they're going through. So, yeah.
I wish people would leave them alone when they do and just listen. I wish more
Yeah.
people would just listen.
Yeah. Yeah, it just makes me so happy that's like gonna be continued pushing forward. And yeah, just like on behalf of the trans community as a whole, thank you for all you've done for porn and yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
know,
Thank
girl.
you.
I this is my whole thing with this podcast is just giving flowers to porn performers who fucking deserve it because we don't get shit enough.
This work. I live.
Yeah. Well, yeah, let's wrap up. Bye everyone. Download the new album when it's out and give Domino and myself money. My Venmo's on my Twitter. You can send $1,000. That's fine.
Period.